What is going on, guys? And I'm back with my power forward rankings, and the draft is within a week, so I'm very excited for that. So here are my rankings, and this is a pretty good power forward class. You have star power at the top and a decent amount of depth, so let's get to it. Noah Vonleh, a guy I think could be a future all-star in this league. He's a 6'9" power forward with a 7'4" wingspan. He can defend and rebound at a high level, and what intrigues scouts is he's a very good outside shooter, shooting 48% in college, though on limited attempts, and he's only 18 years old, one of the youngest players in this draft class. He's not a great passer, and right now he's just average at creating his own shot, but his weaknesses are very far and few between, and I think he'll be a great pick for someone in the top 5. Julius Randle out of Kentucky University, and his stock has fallen a bit due to a leg injury, but I'm not too concerned about that. He's a big, strong lefty power forward who can rebound the ball, finish at the basket, and he's very athletic. There is no doubt in my mind he'll be a very tough player to defend, maybe as soon as his rookie season. Now, he's just an average defender, lacks a perimeter game in terms of shooting, and is just a mediocre passer, but this guy should be a great pick for a team like the Lakers in the mid-lottery. Adrian Payne out of Michigan State, and he's already 23 years old, a bit old for a prospect, and he's just an average defender, though he has ideal strength and size, but there's so much to like about this player, and I think he's underrated. He's a 6'10" power forward with a 7'4" wingspan. He can shoot from the outside, rebound the basketball. He's an excellent athlete, did well in the college basketball slam dunk contest, and he has a high motor, and he's a high character player. He's a stretch 4 who can do many different things on the basketball court. Now, he does have some conditioning issues, so he may be regulated to a bench role, but he could be a great third big man off the bench, playing 25 plus minutes a game. Aaron Gordon out of the University of Arizona. Let's start with the obvious. He's an incredible athlete who can jump out of the gym and moves well laterally. Add that with the fact that he has a very high motor, and he's already an excellent defender who can switch onto perimeter players and probably bang down low. Now, he's a bit of a tweener, only 6'9", and he's not much of a scorer yet as he has trouble creating his own shot, and he's not a good shooter who shot a horrible 42% from the foul line last season at Arizona, which is, simply put, unacceptable, but he's only 18 years old, which gives scouts hope he can improve significantly in that department in the next few years. I like him, and at the very least, he can be a solid role player thanks to his athleticism and defense. Clint Capela out of Switzerland, and he has super impressive strengths that has scouts salivating, but his weaknesses scream bust to some people. He is a huge 6'11" power forward with a 7'4.5" wingspan. He's a mobile player who runs up and down the court very well, very athletic, and he's an excellent defender due to his length and size, and he can finish at the basket. Now, you know what that means. He has no outside shot, he has trouble creating his own shot, he's very raw, a bad free throw shooter, and he's thin too. Now, I don't think he'll be a star, but I don't think he'll be a complete bust either. I think he'll carve out a solid NBA career, be a decent bench player with the potential to be so much more. A good selection for some team in the mid-first round. Khem Birch out of UNLV, one of my second-round sleepers. He's a great rebounder, very athletic, and he's an excellent shot blocker, averaged 3.8 blocks per game last season at UNLV, very impressive, and he can finish around the basket. And you know what that means, no jump shot, he's raw offensively, and he's thin. But his defense and rebounding alone should carve him out a solid NBA career, and I hope he gets drafted. Javon McCrea out of Buffalo University, one of my deep sleepers. He's not projected to be drafted, but I think he's just underrated because he went to a small school and never got national exposure. He's a big, strong power forward with a 7'3" wingspan. He rebounds, can score in the paint, and he's a solid defender with a high motor who can finish around the basket. He's only 6'8", but like mentioned, his wingspan makes up for it. He's not much of an outside threat, and unlike some players we've mentioned, he's a below-average athlete with only a 32-inch vertical. But we've seen time and time again how power forwards can make a mark in this league by playing with energy, rebounding, and being strong, and I think McCrea could be one of them. Dario Saric out of Croatia, and in my opinion, he's one of the more overrated players in this year's draft. He's a 6'10" power forward with great court vision, can really pass it, very competitive, and he can rebound the basketball. But his athleticism negates a lot of his positives in my opinion. He's very slow, lacks explosiveness, he's an average defender and shooter, and he only has a 6'10" wingspan, so he's not exactly big for a power forward. And there are questions whether he'll come over right away to the NBA. In my opinion, a bit overrated at this point. Kyle Anderson out of UCLA, one of the more polarizing players. He's a 6'9" power forward with a 7'3" wingspan. Like Saric, he can rebound and he has great court vision. He played point guard in college, but he is way too slow to play in the NBA. He is nicknamed Slow-Mo, and rightfully so because he is very slow. He is probably the worst athlete in this year's draft. He can't guard perimeter players, and I'm not quite sure if he can bang with the big men in the NBA. And offensively, there are also concerns whether he can play off the ball. He's an improved shooter, but his shot release is very slow. I understand unathletic players can really succeed in the NBA, but Anderson is unlike anything we've ever seen, adding the fact that he's not a great shooter, and there are serious concerns. Well, there you have it, guys. Feel free to disagree with my rankings in the comment section. I'll be sure to respond and have a nice little conversation. Center position rankings are coming up, and see you next time.